The blockbuster film Look Back is now available on Amazon Prime Video. Today, we will be comparing the original manga with the film adaptation. Hey guys, it's me, Aiki! The movie adaptation of Look Back has finally been released on Amazon Prime Video. Have you all had the chance to watch yet? To be honest, it was amazing. So today, I'll be covering the difference in expression and scene between the original manga and the film adaptation, the elements that stood out and became even better with the transition to animation. Finally, I will share my personal thoughts on the deeper meaning behind the story. I hope you will stick until the end of this video. This discussion assumes you have already watched this film, so there will be spoilers ahead. Feel free to share your thoughts on the comments below so we can all enjoy the conversation together. Right from the beginning, there is a notable difference. In the original manga, the story starts with the scene where a class newspaper is distributed in the classroom. However, in the film, it begins with a scene where the protagonist is drawing a 4-panel comic to be published in that newspaper. This scene is an original addition made for the film and doesn't exist in the manga, but I think it plays a crucial role in helping viewers understand the story that's about to unfold. Next, in the scene where the class newspaper is distributed, this part closely follows the original manga. However, in the film, the newspaper's content is fully detailed and you can clearly see Fujino's 4-panel comic featured in it. In the scene where Fujino feels shocked after Kyomoto's 4-panel comic is featured, we see the other students buzzing with excitement to convey the impact of Fujino's emotions. The film uses an exaggeratedly large classroom and unusual numbers of students to create a surreal atmosphere. This scene is completely original addition to the anime adaptation. Similarly, throughout the film, there are other original scenes added to depict the emotion high and low of both Fujino's and Kyomoto's mental state. This is a scene where Fujino is asked to deliver Kyomoto's graduation certificate. In the original manga, the teacher desk is positioned with the window in the background. However, in the film, the desk is placed closer to the hallway and the angle is adjusted so that it matches the perspective as Fujino enters the staff room. In contrast to surreal, oversized classroom scene mentioned earlier, the hallway leading to Kyomoto's room in the film is depicted with a much more realistic length. In the original manga, this hallway is notably long. While I didn't see much of it when reading the manga, seeing its film version makes the hallway feel more grounded and lifelike. This was a scene I noticed while watching the film. In the original manga, the line was something like, let's go stimulate the economy. However, in the film, it's been replaced with, let's go to have some whipped cream. While this change likely served to content better to the following scene where they're shown eating crepes, I must admit, I'm not entirely sure about the intention behind this particular dialogue adjustment. I think this is an excellent original addition made for the film. When the manga begins serialization, a survey result chart is displayed alongside it. This is fantastic detail that wasn't in the original manga, and I thought it was the brilliant addition. There are the major differences between the beginning of the films and the original manga. Of course, if we dive into the final details, there are plenty of subtle tweaks and additions compared to the original. For example, Hoichi's chair while drawing manga is changed from the balance board to a regular chair. The placement and depiction of the words "don't" and "in anger" in the opening and closing scene are different. The graduation background message have been edited and expanded, and so on. That said, these changes are minor and don't significantly alter an original story. The film remains largely faithful to the manga, with thoughtful additions that enhance the interpretation of the work. Next, I pick out some aspects where the animation enhanced the original manga, allowing its brilliance to be conveyed even more effectively to the audience. I thought the way the 4-panel comics were animated was fantastic. Unlike in manga, understanding the content of the draw 4-panel comics within the film can be quite challenging. By intentionally animating them, the film clearly conveys the meaning, making it much easier to grasp. It was a brilliant and impactful choice of direction. One thing that really stood out was how prominently Fujino's eye bag were depicted. Tatsuki Sensei's original art is known for its intricate and detailed line work, but when adapted into animation, such details often end up looking cleaner and more polished. That's why I really appreciated that decision to retain the dark circle and Fujino's eye in the film. It added so much realism and character depth. She may confidently boast to her classmates, saying, "Oh, I just threw this together quickly," but you can genuinely feel the extraditionary amount of time, the effort she must have spent behind the scene creating her work. It's such a powerful detail that resonates deeply with the audience. This was another great addition. After the manga starts serialization, there's a scene where Fujino vents her frustrations about the assistant to her editor. This interaction vividly portrays the realistic struggles of a manga artist and the mindset of the girl who rose to fame as a popular mangaka without experiencing many setbacks during her childhood. As mentioned earlier, the survey results were also shown here. It's quite impressive that the first chapter of the new serialization ranked number 1, but after that, the result sharply declined. The slump in popularity during the first 2 volumes feels incredibly realistic, so much so that it becomes clear the series was at risk of cancellation. However, in chapter 26, included in the 3rd volume, there's an explosive surge in popularity. From that point, the manga gains traction, eventually rising to become a mid-tier to top-tier series in the shonen manga ranking. This part was absolutely brilliant. While it might not seem like a particularly significant scene at first glance, it's actually a crucial element in conveying the overall message of the work. There are several moments where the emotion truly explodes. The first time Kyomoto meets Fujino, the stepping sequence in the rain on the way home, Fujino and Kyomoto's peak moment of success, the news of Kyomoto's passing. The way these emotionally intense scenes are portrayed is simply incredible. The original manga was already amazing, but seeing these moments brought to life with the movement and the dynamics of animation made them even more impactful. It was just too good. Lookback is work that, in my opinion, tends to divide audience into 2 distinct groups: those who are deeply moved by it and those who are less affected. This likely depends on how much viewers can empathize with the character of Fujino. The depth of connection with her struggles and experience significantly influenced how the story resonated with each individual. This work, in my view, posed the question: what is the purpose of continuing to create? That seems I felt was at the heart of this story. The story unfolded with Fujino blaming herself, believing that Kyomoto's death was a result of her own dedication to manga creation. This leads to the conclusion that there is no meaning in creating. From there, the narrative shifts to an alternate if world. In this world, Fujino never posed creative work, and her life takes a different path. However, even in this alternate world, Kyomoto continues to draw, enter art school, and still becomes entangled in a tragic incident. In this if scenario, Fujino, who no longer creates, coincidentally ends up saving Kyomoto. This suggests a world where not continuing with creative pursuits allowed her to protect Kyomoto. But Fujino couldn't make that choice. To do so would mean dismissing everything, the joy she found in creating, the connection she shared with Kyomoto as her reader, and the precious time they spent together, declaring it all small and meaningless. Compared to the volume of human life would be denying a fundamental part of herself. Even if her manga indirectly led to the death of someone dear to her, or if it means she could never accept accept the idea that the emotion, experience, and the bonds people get through her work were meaningless. That's why Fujino chose to keep drawing a manga. As long as she continued to create, the sparkle that Kyomoto and Fujino both loved remains validated and alive, even in the shadow of Kyomoto's death. I believe these emotions resonate very differently depending on whether someone has ever been immersed in the world of creation or not. It's perfectly natural for some people not to fully grasp this feeling. However, for those who may one day experience the joy of creating something that brings happiness to others, I hope they will come back to look back and revisit its message with fresh eyes. And one more thing, this work consistently conveys themes of being inspired by the backs of those ahead of us. Kyomoto found constant inspiration in Fujino's signed code, which she treasures deeply. Throughout the story, Fujino's figure is often depicted from the behind as she draws manga, emphasizing these recurring themes. Even when Fujino and Kyomoto embark on their creative journeys, Fujino leaves a lasting line, "Follow in my footsteps." The back can be seen as a symbol of the act of continuing to create manga. Tatsukifujimoto's dedication to continuing his craft as a manga artist serves as the ultimate proof of this message. Fujimoto has not stopped creating manga. His back tells us creation is still not meaningless. He's saying, "I'm still drawing. The emotions you have felt from reading manga are not meaningless. If this manga moved you in any way, you too can do the same. It will never be meaningless. As long as you continue creating, the emotions you gain from others' works and the sparkle born from your creative process will never lose their value. I'm drawing, showing you my back. Someone out there is watching your back too." Tatsuki Fujimoto believed this, and he's telling us all, feel it. And that wraps up our decisions comparing the original manga and animated film adaptation of Look Back. The movie is available to stream on Amazon Prime Video, so if you haven't seen it yet, please do check it out. It truly is an incredible work of art. Thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye!